This message is not for everyone. I don't speak to those who don't want to hear, but you came here because I called you. It wasn't by chance. It wasn't a random click. It was my finger that guided you. There's something urgent your spirit needs to hear, and I've chosen now. The final door has opened. There will be no other after it. This is the final time of a spiritual cycle that I myself have determined. Many ask for answers, cry out for direction, but ignore my words. I am speaking now, and those who have spiritual ears will understand that this is their final chance. You've felt a weight, an uneasiness these past few days, as if something were about to happen. And it is. Time is moving fast. Doors are closing for many, but for you, I've still left one open. Not out of merit, but out of mercy. And you must choose whether to walk through or stay outside. I know your thoughts. I know you've been waiting for something. But now, I'm the one waiting for you. I'm opening the door. But whoever doesn't enter now will be left out, and they won't have another opportunity like it. Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because this message could be the last instruction before the turn. And if you ignore it, don't say I didn't warn you. Now, listen to me deeply, because I know pains you've never told anyone about, and it's time to talk about them. Before continuing, take a deep breath and pay attention to what's about to happen here, because this message will resonate not only with your ears, but also with your soul. If you felt something brought you to this video, don't ignore it. It's spiritual. It's because you're part of a greater calling. This isn't about religion, but about a direct connection with heaven. You'll feel that you're not alone, that there's a purpose knocking at your door, and that your story isn't over yet. If this voice echoed within you, then it makes sense. You belong to this movement. So, subscribe to the channel now. Turn on notifications and like it. Not just to support, but to declare that you're ready to walk through this door with faith. Because the journey that begins here will transform you completely. I saw you trying to smile while inside your soul cried out for help. I saw you praying weakly, when your words came out more like sighs than pleas. I saw you remaining silent in front of everyone, but crying when no one was looking. I know exactly how many times you tried to appear strong, when all you wanted was to collapse in my arms. I know the pain you didn't have the courage to confess, even to those you love most. I saw every tear, including the ones you swallowed so as not to appear weak. You've been struggling in silence. Your mind is weary, your heart is heavy, your spirit is broken. There are days when it feels like the whole world is crushing you, and you don't know where to find relief. And even though you believe in me, even though you seek me, there are times when you ask yourself, why does it seem like nothing changes? You've wondered if I'm still listening. You've thought you might have been forgotten. But I tell you now, no, you haven't been forgotten. And yes, I have heard all your prayers. You're living in a time when everything seems stuck. Dreams are stagnant. Promises remain silent. Doors won't open. You've tried to understand my ways, but you've been frustrated because you expected something quicker, more visible, more direct. But what I'm doing goes beyond what your eyes can see. I'm shaping not only your future, but your inner self. I'm preparing you for what you wouldn't even be able to sustain if I placed it in your hands before your time. But I know your pain. I know the weariness you carry. I saw the moment you thought about giving up, and yet even hurt you kept going. Even without understanding, you believed. And that's why I'm here today, talking to you. Because you resisted, because you endured. And now, the time is coming when I will turn the page on your story. But before that happens, there's something you need to do. And what I'm about to reveal to you now could change everything. If this pain I just described touched you, if you felt that I was speaking directly to you, I want to propose a spiritual challenge to you now. Write in the comments with faith and courage, just this sentence: even though it hurts, I still believe. You've been trying to control everything on your own. You carry burdens I never asked you to carry. You try to solve with your own hands what can only be solved with my intervention. I've seen you struggle to keep things together, trying not to let anything fall apart, while inside you feel like you can't take it anymore. But why do you insist on fighting alone when I'm here saying, "Let me take care of this"? You're holding on to pain, expectations, guilt, fears, decisions, as if everything depended on you. But listen, as long as you try to navigate by your own strength, you'll remain tired. As long as you insist on doing things your way, you'll feel like the doors remain closed. The surrender I'm asking of you now isn't religious. It's not theoretical. It's real. It's profound. It's the kind of surrender where you sincerely say, "God, I no longer have control. I release it into your hands, because it's only when you let go that I can act fully. While you hold on, I respect. While you insist, I wait. But when you surrender, I transform." What you don't see is that behind your despair there's a plan being drawn up, but this plan can only be fulfilled when you stop fighting it. You prayed for direction, and I'm giving it to you. But direction requires decision, and the decision I expect from you now is, trust me. Not with superficial faith, but with the kind of faith that surrenders what is most difficult to surrender, the fear of losing control. I didn't bring you here to abandon you. I brought you here to free you from the burden that keeps you from crossing this threshold. You no longer need to prove your strength to anyone. You just need to let me truly be God in your life. And if you really want to see what I have prepared on the other side of this door, you need to let go of everything you've been holding on to until now, because only those who give me everything can pass through the door without the weight that prevents them from moving forward. And now I will show you what is about to happen if you listen to me. Before continuing, please answer honestly in the comments, what has been the hardest thing for you to release into God's hands? This answer can be the beginning of your liberation. When you name what's holding you back, you begin to break the cycle. So be honest with heaven. Write it down, deliver it, trust it. Because God is ready to act right there, where you most fear letting go. Now listen carefully, because what I'm about to reveal to you cannot be ignored. The door that has opened before you is no ordinary one. It is not visible to the natural eye, but it is before your spirit, clear as daylight. This door represents a time marked by my own finger. I did not open it by chance. I opened it on purpose. There are things you have been praying for years, and now at this very moment the answer is before you. But discernment is needed to avoid confusing opportunity with distraction. This door will not remain open forever. What I've placed on the other side is greater than you can imagine. It's not just about material blessings or immediate solutions. What I've prepared is a spiritual repositioning. It's a place where your vision will be expanded, where your sensitivity to my voice will be refined, where you will have peace even in the midst of war. This door takes you to a level where what once destroyed you no longer touches you. But listen carefully. This door only stays open for a time, then it closes. And it will close with or without you. There are many who are distracted by the noise around them. They are too busy with fleeting things, with human disputes, with unfulfilled desires. They don't even realize the door is already open, and when they finally wake up, it will be too late. But with you, I am being clear. I am saying now, this instant, enter. Take a stand. Don't think you will have another chance like this. There are moments in someone's spiritual history when I make a definitive call. This is your moment. You're not hearing this by chance. You're hearing it because I chose you to walk through this door, and there are blessings, deliverances, and revelations waiting for you. But there's also a limit, a set time. And when that time runs out, those who haven't entered are left outside. Not because I wanted to leave them, but because they ignored my call. Don't play with that which is eternal. Don't treat with indifference what I have so precisely released. The last door has been opened, and this is the kind of door that once closed never opens again. I'm not telling you this to scare you, but to wake you up. You prayed for a sign, and I'm giving you one. You asked for an answer, and here it is. No more excuses. Now it's your choice. Either you walk through the door, or you remain outside, observing what you could have lived. And before you decide, I still need to remind you who you are in my eyes. You may not see it, but there is a value in you that the world has failed to recognize. I formed you with my own hands. Every detail of you carries eternal intentions. You are not a mistake, not a coincidence, not just another one in the crowd. I know your name, I know the sound of your voice when you call out to me silently, and I know the thoughts that run through your mind when no one else is around. I saw you when you felt too small, insufficient, invisible, even to those who should love you. But I have never seen you like this. From the beginning, you were set apart, marked, chosen. There is a seal upon you that cannot be erased. Even on your worst days, even when you fell, even when you thought you were disappointing me, I have not removed my gaze from your life. Because your worth is not in your failures, it is in the purpose I placed within you. And that purpose still stands. You've been trying to understand why you've been through so much pain, but today I tell you, none of your suffering was in vain. Every tear fell on the soil of promise. Every desert you crossed strengthened invisible roots that are now ready to sustain the new I'm about to release. And the reason I still insist on speaking to you is because I see beyond what you see. I see the potential that hasn't yet been activated. I see what is about to be born within you. You are loved. You are called. You are part of something much bigger than your story so far. And that's why I'm offering you this door. Not because you deserve it, but because I see in you someone who, even though hurt, still believes. And those who still believe, I never fail to lift up. Now lift your head, take a deep breath. Because what the world tried to bury in you, I am resurrecting with my word. But I also need to warn you, because there's a real risk of losing all of this if you continue to ignore the voice that's been screaming inside you for so long. I love you deeply, and that's why I need to speak firmly now. Because true love isn't just about comforting, it's also about confronting. And I need to confront you. You've been receiving warnings, signs, words, dreams, and concerns that didn't come from your mind, they came from me. How many times have I tried to get your attention? How many times have I paused wrong paths, silenced voices around you, closed doors that seemed promising, all to protect you from a greater abyss? But you still hesitate to obey me completely. You say you believe, but you continue walking with one foot in faith and the other in control. You call me Lord, but you're afraid to let go. You listen to my instructions but filter out what's easier to accept, and so you remain stuck spinning in cycles, waiting for a move while refusing to move. My son, my daughter, time is passing, and there are things that are lost when one hesitates too much. There are opportunities that don't wait for those who calculate risks instead of obeying the direction that comes from above. I'm not saying this to accuse you, but to wake you up. Because many who ignored my voice are now crying outside. Yes, there are. People who received the same call as you, who heard the same word and decided to wait a little longer, think a little longer, decide for themselves. And when they decided to act, the door was already closed. And all that was left was regret. I don't want that for you. I don't want to see you repeat the same story of those who traded the promise for an improvised plan, of those who postponed obedience and got lost in their own shortcuts. This is your warning. A warning not of punishment, but of love, because I only insist with those I still believe will listen. I only knock on the door of those I still see who can open. But the time will come when silence will be the only answer. And it won't be because I was absent. It will be because you chose not to respond while there was still time. My silence also speaks, and when it arrives, it is because all the words have already been released, all the signals have already been given, and what remains is merely the consequence of a choice. Postponed for too long. Therefore do not harden your heart. Do not treat with disdain what I have poured out with such care. Do not treat sacred instruction as commonplace. There are blessings that have been released and are waiting for you, but they have a time to be accessed. And that time is ending. This is your last chance to enter. And if you choose to ignore it, I will respect your choice. But know that when a season ends, it does not return. When a door closes completely, it does not reopen with the same conditions. What was light becomes a burden. What was grace becomes regret, and what was opportunity becomes longing. I know that obeying hurts. I know that changing the course of a life built on human desires requires renunciation. I know that leaving a comfort zone even when it has already become a prison requires courage. But that's precisely why I'm speaking to you with such intensity. Because I see that within you there's still a spark burning. There's still something that responds when I speak. There's still a heart that beats faster when it feels my presence. And as long as that signal remains, as long as there's even that minimal sensitivity, I will continue calling. But I can't promise that this call will last forever. How many people today would give anything to hear what you're hearing now? How many cry out for direction, for an answer, for a second chance that you have before your eyes and insist on postponing? It's not about merit, it's about grace. And grace needs to be recognized and honored. Because when it's ignored, that which was meant to save begins to confront. And the same voice that consoles becomes the voice that demands. Because the truth is this: to those who receive much, much will be demanded. And you can't say you didn't know, that you didn't hear, that you didn't feel. There's a weariness in you that doesn't come from the journey, but from disobedience. You feel exhausted not because you've done too much, but because you've done what wasn't asked. You've carried burdens I never gave you. You've engaged in battles I didn't authorize. And every time you ignore my voice, an invisible weight accumulates on your shoulders. On the outside, you may seem in control, but inside I know you're fragmented. And the only thing that can restore you is a sincere, immediate response without bargaining or excuses. Just a whole yes, without a hint of fear. You've grown accustomed to asking for deliverance, but you don't realize that many of the deliverances I tried to give you were rejected by yourself. I warned you about connections that should be ended, and you persisted. I told you to change your environment, and you ignored it. I showed you that that path wasn't for you, but you closed your eyes because you were afraid to start over. And now you're reaping the consequences of choices that could have been avoided. But even so, I'm still here, because my love doesn't give up easily. But the truth is, my love also disciplines, and discipline isn't rejection, it's correction so you don't lose yourself even further. Now I ask you with all the weight of eternity about this question: how long will you ignore what I'm saying? How long will you continue to treat the spiritual as if it were secondary? How long will you continue to postpone decisions that should have been made yesterday? How long will you feed excuses, hide fears behind responsibilities, use pain as an excuse for not obeying? How long will you say "I know" and continue living as if you didn't? My son, my daughter, there is still time. There is still a chance. But it demands action now. You can't keep waiting for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment is this: it is now. It is at this very moment that your soul is being confronted, your emotions are being touched, and your mind is being awakened. Don't harden, don't run away. Don't return to distraction after hearing a word that carries eternity. And if you are ready to take that step, then listen carefully to what I promise to do for you if you decide to walk through that door. If you hear me, if you respond to what I'm telling you now, prepare yourself, because nothing will remain as it is. I am the God who transforms realities with a single word, and that word is being released upon your life at this very moment. What was barren will begin to bear fruit. What was pain will begin to heal. What seemed like the end will become a new beginning. I am the one who turns the desert into a garden, who transforms ashes into honor, who draws a new destiny from chaos. And don't think it's too late. Don't think that time has defeated you. For I am the Lord of time, and what I begin, I myself sustain until what I promised is fulfilled. You've gone through seasons where everything seemed to stand still. You faced days when you woke up with no desire to continue. You've experienced moments when the pain was so constant that you began to grow accustomed to it. In silence, you learned to pretend everything was fine while inside something screamed for help. Your smiles became rarer, your eyes more tired, and your soul began to hide behind masks that even you no longer recognized. But I never accepted that you were limited by what you experienced. because what I prepared for you is incomparable to what you went through. Your story didn't end with trauma. It wasn't erased by falls. Every scar has value, every tear has a purpose. And if you walk through this door, you'll begin to see what you always dreamed of but never knew how to achieve. I will restore your hope. I will bring back the sparkle in your eyes. I will show you that the wait was not in vain. Because even the time you thought was lost, I will redeem. Nothing was lost when you cried in the right presence. No sincere prayer was forgotten. No act of faith was ignored. I saw it all. I heard it all. And now the time has come for me to manifest myself with power. I will place new people in your path, open doors no man can close, and teach you to walk without fear of what is left behind. You will no longer look to the future with anxiety, but with faith. You will walk lightly, because you will no longer be carrying the weight of what has hurt you. You asked me for change, you begged me silently, even when you thought no one was listening. And now I'm saying, it's done. But transformation begins when you decide to obey. Walking through this door takes courage, but on the other side there is healing, there is peace, there is wholeness. There is a place I have prepared especially for you, where none of the words hurled at you will have power, where none of the rejections that have scarred you will define you. And it doesn't matter what anyone said about you, it doesn't matter who rejected you, who doubted you, who abandoned you. What I'm about to do doesn't depend on anyone's opinion, only on your decision. You think you've been forgotten, but you've been reserved. You think you've been left aside, but I was only preparing you for something greater. There is a time when I am silent to strengthen you, a time when I hide to protect, and a time when I reveal to exalt. And that time has come. I will place in your hands what many said you would never have. But before that, I need you to trust, to truly surrender control, to stop trying to understand with logic what can only be experienced through faith. Because this transformation will not come through your strength, but through my presence. And know this, what I will do will not be just a temporary improvement, nor a superficial change. It will be something so profound that even those who have known you for years will say, that person is no longer the same. Because it won't be. There will be a visible change in your eyes, in the way you speak, in the way you walk, react, and dream. And this will not be the result of your own effort, but the result of what my glory has worked within you. People will see, but few will understand, because many only see the outward appearance, but I look at the heart, and that is where the work began, and it is from there that the light will overflow. You need to know that there are gifts within you that have not yet been awakened. There are talents you buried because someone convinced you weren't good enough. There are dreams you forgot because pain spoke louder for a time. But I haven't forgotten any of them. I wrote down every sigh, every thought, every desire that was born deep within your soul, and now I am breathing life back into them. They will blossom even after years of dormancy, because when I decide to transform, even what was dead breathes again. You thought it was the end, but it was only the beginning of what truly matters. And the reason you're still here, even after everything, is because there's still promise alive. There's still purpose burning. There's still a destiny no one can steal. The tears you shed in secret were seeds. And now the time has come to harvest. It will bloom, it will grow, it will surprise. Now that you've heard my promise, I want you to activate your faith, not just by listening, but by acting. It's no use feeling something beautiful and then moving on as if nothing had happened. You have to take steps. You have to obey even without understanding, because the miracle doesn't begin when everything makes sense. It begins when you say yes, even without having all the answers. Your decision today is the key to your tomorrow. And if you respond with faith, with surrender, with courage, you will see with your own eyes that nothing you've experienced will be wasted. Everything will be transformed. So take a deep breath. Close your eyes, because I myself will guide you through a moment that will mark your spirit forever. Now, I want you to stop everything you're doing for a moment. Breathe deeply. Slow down your mind. Let go of all distractions. This is a moment between you and me. A holy moment, an encounter planned before your birth. There is nothing more important now than hearing my voice and responding with your whole heart. I am here, present, nearby, by your side. Close your eyes for a few seconds. Forget time, forget your surroundings. Just feel my presence enveloping you now. The pain you carry, I know. The fear you confess to no one, I see. The desire to experience something new, I perceive. And that's why today, I myself will lead this prayer with you, not with empty repetitions, but with sincere words that open the way to the supernatural. Say with me, Lord, I am here. Before your voice, I surrender. I no longer want to live trapped in what has passed. I no longer want to be left outside of what you have prepared for me. I now surrender everything I have tried to control with my own hands. Free me from anxiety, guilt, and unbelief. I decide to enter through the door you have opened. I decide to trust in your timing, your plan, and your love for me. As you speak, something begins to move within you. I'm touching areas that have been dormant. I'm breaking chains that have held you back. I'm uprooting lies you've believed about yourself. I'm restoring your faith. This moment is more than words. It's a spiritual act, and every time you speak with a sincere heart, heaven moves toward you. The spiritual world recognizes the authority of a soul that chooses to surrender completely, and the heavens respond with power. Now, still with your eyes closed, simply say in your own voice, I accept the door the Lord has opened. I receive the newness of God. Say once more, I will not be left out. I am entering in the name of Jesus. These words are not just phrases, they are seeds, and what was planted here will flourish. You may not see the fruits immediately, but they are already sprouting silently in the soil of your faith. And when you least expect it, you will see the signs of the harvest emerging all around you. You won't leave this moment the same way you entered. There's a new atmosphere enveloping you, a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances, a renewal that comes directly from my presence, a presence that knows you completely, that has never left, even when you thought you were alone. Now, I want to remind you why all of this is happening, because I saw your faith, however small, and I rejoiced, and because I have bigger plans than you can imagine. But there's something else I need to ask of you right now. Stay, not just for today, not just while you feel this peace, not just while the environment is favorable. Stay even when the emotion passes. Stay when doubts try to return. Stay when routine tries to extinguish what was ignited here. Because the secret to transformation isn't just in the moment of encounter, it's in the continuity of the relationship. From now on, I want you to see each new day as an extension of this moment. Each dawn as a new chance to seek me with the same sincerity with which you prayed just now. And when the pain tries to return, remember this peace you feel now. When fear surrounds you, repeat these words of surrender. When anxiety tries to take over, say out loud, I trust in God's plan. He is with me. He is guiding every step. You are no longer alone. You never were, but now you know, now you feel, now you understand. And because you understand, you will be covered, guided, strengthened. The prayer you prayed here does not end when the video ends. It continues to vibrate in eternity, because every word that comes from a surrendered heart rises like incense before my throne. And I do not ignore a sincere cry. I do not disregard hidden tears. I do not refuse a broken heart. I am teaching you to walk not by logic, but by faith, not by force, but by surrender. From today on, everything you do, even the simplest gesture, can become an extension of your worship. When you choose to forgive, you are praying. When you choose to remain silent instead of retaliating, you are honoring me. When you love someone difficult, you are witnessing. Everything can be spiritual when done with a surrendered heart. And I invite you now to do something very specific. Choose a practical action that reflects this surrender. It could be a forgiveness that has been held back for years. It could be a step of faith toward a dream you've shelved. It could be a reconciliation, a renunciation, an act of courage. Anything, as long as it's real. This will be your visible response to this invisible moment. Heaven will see. and you will feel the heavens opening even more intensely upon your life. Finally, keep this in mind. Transformation begins when your faith stops being just internal and becomes visible in your actions. You prayed, you believed. Now walk, now react, now live as someone who has been touched by grace, because that's what happened here. Heaven touched earth, and you were chosen to live the supernatural in a concrete way. And now I want you to listen carefully, because the time has come to declare faith with your own lips, and this will solidify everything I have begun at this very moment. You prayed when no one else believed. You waited when everything around you said it was too late. You chose to trust even without understanding, and I saw it. I saw your hands reach out even though they were tired. I saw your words barely come out, but you still called out to me. I saw everyone leave, but you kept seeking me, and that's why I'm answering you clearly today. The time of harvest has come. Nothing you've ever experienced has been wasted. Every sleepless night, every prayer offered through tears, every time you said, "Amen," even when you couldn't. All of this has been recorded in my book. You haven't been forgotten, you haven't been ignored. I was there silently, shaping, sustaining, setting the stage for this very moment, because what I'm about to do in your life will carry the weight of everything you've endured. And your faith will be rewarded. I know you've heard many promises before. I know you've been disappointed waiting for answers. You've faced silences that seemed definitive. You've heard words that hurt more than they healed. And perhaps that's why your heart is now divided between faith and fear. But I tell you, what I'm saying now is not an illusion. It is fulfillment. It is divine justice manifesting in your story. It is honor being released where there was once shame. It is a new beginning where it seemed the end had won. The harvest has arrived, and it is not small. Your faithfulness did not go unnoticed. Your obedience amidst the chaos, your silent faith on days when no one saw you, your perseverance even with your heart in pieces, all of this touched me deeply. Because I don't look at appearances, I see the inner self, and what I saw in you was true. It was surrender. It was a seed watered with tears that now begins to blossom before my eyes. I brought you here not just to comfort you, but to activate you, to awaken within you the faith that transforms atmospheres, that tears down walls, that breaks cycles. I don't want you to survive. I want you to live with purpose, with fulfillment, with courage. Don't accept living as someone who just endures. You are called to impact, to inspire, to witness my actions with authority. And so I say to you, stand up, wipe away your tears, and declare, I receive what God has prepared for me. I am ready to live the new. I believe in your word. Because this declaration is not symbolic, it is spiritual. It is the turning point, it is the seal of your decision, because heaven has already released it. Now it is you who decides to walk with authority. And when you stand up in this faith, something moves. Doors that were locked begin to unlock. Answers that were pent up begin to flow. The world may not see it right away, but the spiritual world has already recognized your decision. And that's why you'll feel the difference. You'll feel lightness where there was heaviness. You'll feel direction where there was confusion. You'll feel presence where before it felt empty. This is the time. This is the season. And you have not come this far in vain. What is coming now will be so supernatural that even those who doubted will acknowledge it was God. And you will be a living testament to the faithfulness of the one who never fails. And before this moment ends, there's something I want you to do. And it will seal not only your faith, but it will touch other lives through you. Now that you've heard my voice, don't keep it to yourself. I awakened you today, but there are thousands who are still asleep, needing precisely this word. You can be a bridge for someone who is about to give up. You can be an answer in the life of someone who is silent, praying for a sign. And so, I want you to do something now. Declare in the comments, with faith and courage, the phrase that will seal this spiritual moment. Write, I come in through the door, Lord. It's not just a phrase, it's a prophetic act, it's a public statement. It's you saying before heaven and earth that you're ready to live what I have prepared. And when you write, know, my eyes will see, and my move will continue. And what's more, share this video with someone who needs to hear what you just heard. Be an instrument, be a voice, be a light. And if this word spoke to you, if you felt my presence, if your spirit was touched, then don't leave without being part of something bigger. Click now subscribe here on the channel. This is a place where I have spoken often, where words from my throne have reached thirsty hearts. And I want to continue speaking to you. Activate the bell. Because the next messages won't just be videos, they'll be meetings. And each new meeting will be a new step on the path I've laid out. Don't miss it. I'm calling. And if you've listened this far, it's because I still have more to reveal to you. You walked through that door today, and you will never be the same again.